All right, guys, thanks for joining me today. Today I want to talk to you about the 2024 real estate outlook and what the new year is going to bring. I know the year 2023, 2022, 2021, 2020, and 2019, maybe even before that, have all been challenging. But I want to talk to you about how this new upcoming year is unique. I want to show you the things to do, not to do. I'm going to go over some stuff a lot of people aren't yet talking about and really what it's going to have to do with your career in real estate and how important it is. Overall, this is a Realtor must-watch. We're going to go over the 2024 outlook, and we're going to start right with the original thing that we all need to be talking about, which is lack of inventory. Lack of inventory has been something that's been spoken about a lot, but a lot of people are misunderstanding where does the lack of inventory come from, and is there any end in sight? Do we have an end in sight in the year 2024? The flat answer to you is no. There is no direct end in sight whatsoever when it comes to the lack of inventory. The reason for this really is the fact that we have so much government regulation now that in order to build a house, it takes going through so many loops and hoops that it's very expensive for builders to process a new home. In order to even get started, they have to go through town hall, which depending on the area could take months, if not years. Depending on the scope of the project, could take several years, right? That added cost, that legal fee, that whole process has really become one of the key choke points to the idea of new construction. A lot of people now even are in the business of just entitling land, which means going out buying land and getting it through town hall and then selling it again for a profit. This middleman process, this antiquated system that the government makes us go through, has led to a shortage of houses being built. Now, if it was as easy as going out buying land, going to town hall, dropping your plans on the desk and going and building it, a lot more people would be into it. The other key environmental issue with it is the environmental issues, right? We now have less buildable land every single year. It doesn't matter how you look at it, each and every year they continue to come up with more wetlands, they continue to put the setbacks further, they continue to lower the density. Now we've had some projects, we've had some things such as maybe locally in Massachusetts, the MBTA, where now there are higher density requirements allowed, which, you know, sometimes that comes with give and take, but single family housing wise, we hardly ever see density go up. We see density go down. If not, some towns even may reject ideas because they don't have the infrastructure, the school systems, the police, all the different things like that in order to take on growth. So overall 2024 projection, the shortage is going to continue to be a problem. And why else is it? Well, remember, as we move people out of people's basements, like cellar dwellers, the baby boomer generation has a lot of Gen X and Gen Z down in their basement. As they move out, as we have mass migration, right? We've never seen migration like we've seen over the past 3 years or so. Just a little bit more than 3 years now, we've seen mass migration over the border. Hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people have come in over the border legally and illegally, millions in that number, legally and illegally, over the border. And a lot of people will go, well, I'm not really too worried about someone that's coming over the border illegally. They're not competition to be buying a house. Every single person that needs housing in this country is competition to your housing. Why? Because at the end of the day, they all need to find housing. And the more of them that find housing, the more that the rate goes up for whatever housing they're competing for. Rentals, small, big farmland, whatever they're buying, whatever they're renting, there's more of them than there are units. Now that means that will push its way along. I could have been a renter. I might become a buyer because I can't find a unit. I was going to be a buyer of this, but now suddenly there's buyers of that. It pushes me up. I'm a doctor. I came in legally. I migrated to this country. I legally migrated to this country to be a scientist, to be a lab worker, to be all the different reasons people legally come here. Now we pay so much attention to the illegal migration, but what about the legal migration? I have no problem with it. But unless we ramp up building, where are we all going to live? We bring in millions of people, we get more babies, we have illegal immigrants coming over the border. All of that leads to the need for more housing, right? We can't just have the same number of units of houses and more population. So we need to get the building curve back up to population. That would be one of the biggest contributing factors to this year. So if you're sick of the bidding wars, I got bad news for you. Unless you're talking real high end, you're going to be looking at bidding wars. 2024 is going to be the year where houses that are the minimum price in your local area are almost unobtainable. It's so difficult to get one that you're talking 1 in 10, 1 in 20, 1 in 100 bidders in order to get that same property, in order to get it under agreement. So as a realtor, year 2024, you're going to have to work on educating people how to make better offers and how to be more competitive in this market. We're going to continue to see things like home inspections waived. We're going to continue to see things like no home sale contingencies. We're going to see all different ways that buyers think about how can they maneuver their way into that property. Now, guys in the high-end industry and the commercial industry, you guys aren't going to be too happy with me. My prediction, honestly, it's not too good. Now, high-end is way higher dollar volume than it used to be. Depending on where you're at, I'm in the town of Pembroke, Massachusetts. Around here, high-end probably starts at around $1 million, $1.2 million. Now in Duxbury, bigger town, high-end wise, maybe $2 million. But these high-value homes, the very peak of the market, are gonna be difficult to sell because interest rates are still high. I know they're talking about them coming down, but interest rates are still high, and a lot of the homes like that are more of an accessory than anything, so people tend to have a little less liquid capital around while interest rates are high and the payment is high. So I think overall we're going to see them come down, as well as commercial real estate. Now, commercial real estate's a totally different animal than luxury, but they usually have a similar problem after the normal housing market has corrected itself. So most of you go, what do you mean corrected itself? Well, there was a market correction over the past few months here. A lot of people haven't been noticing it because the market has still been so busy, but it did not go as crazy as it once was or as it will be. But we do see now that we have that market correction happen, it's now time for that luxury and commercial market correction. And with the commercial markets, with the fact that we have a lot of tenants moving out, right? We have all the people with the COVID workforce, right? No longer are they taking their employees to work. Their employees are going home. That's tons of office space that's vacant. We see office to residential conversions happening everywhere. Retail space, let's face it, Amazon and others like Temu or whatever it's called are absolutely dominating the retail space. So now retail structures. And then what about industrial? The heavy regulation in the United States makes it nearly impossible to do most large-scale industrial businesses at an affordable rate in this country, so it's all being offshored, right? So we have a massive drove of people moving out of commercial spaces, and we have new ideas coming along, but we haven't quite figured out where they'll go. We have that paired with high rates, right? Now, not too long back, we were at historic low rates. If you remember when we had the last president in seat, we went all the way down into the twos, right? Some commercial real estate came in, took a new loan. As they took that new loan, it was a short-term loan at this percentage rate. Now, if you studied anything about commercial real estate, you understand cap rates and different things. Having the interest go up on your building takes out the profit from the building, right? Rents are the same, more expenses out, less total profit. What does that mean? It means the value of the building plummets. The ability to buy the building plummets. Why? Because when the banks are valuing these buildings to give you the loan, they're not going to see the value they once saw. So this means that people who bought these large buildings, took loans out, now when they come time, they have to actually renew their loan, they have to get a new loan, they're not going to be able to afford the building, so they're going to yard sell it off. Guys and girls who are out there looking for great investment opportunities, luxury and commercial, I'd say next 6 to 12 months, get in while you still can, or you might even see it curve up over there. Now, as a realtor and as a real estate agent, I noticed one thing, a mass exodus of realtors, right? We are starting to see more and more agents go away. Now, personally, I can tell you, I just started really outbound recruiting for my brokerage. So I never really looked too much into other people's sales. I was shocked when I got into all these different brokerage to see 50, 60% of all agents, 50 to 60% of all agents within brokerages are doing a goose egg, dead zero, not a single sale. Now, that surprises me, right? Because when I go on social media, every single agent seems to be a top agent, top producer, I love my job, I can't believe how great it is to work in real estate. What is going on, folks? Who are these people? Who are these people hanging these licenses and sticking around? Well, because of that lack of inventory, because of the commercial, the residential, all these different moves, I think that the total number, the total volume of sales is going to be down in the year 2024, which means that there'll be less to eat, and we still have the same number of real estate agents. But truth be told, when there's less to eat, some of those zeros are eventually going to quit, right? They're not going to just sit around forever. They have to pay things like their realtor dues, which are due, I believe, in 3 days from now, which is about $700. So I imagine we'll see an exodus there. Then we have license renewals. We'll see an exodus because of that. And then we come into the new year when it's kind of the slower time, right? We're going through the holidays, New Year, few weeks after, where people really, they don't love to move. It's super cold in a lot of regions. It is the time of the year where there's a lot going on. Christmas vacation, summer vacation is a long shot off. So people are kind of holding off more towards when they can move in that warmer weather, when they can move and enjoy, and their kids don't have to move schools. Kids moving schools is always a challenge. So at this time of the year, the parents typically figure, well, my kid's done this much time at the school, I might as well wait till spring. I might as well wait to the spring market. If you're a seller out there and you're watching this for whatever reason, you're checking out this realtor thing, I don't think I'd sit back right now, because I think you can get top dollar with how busy the market is being out there by yourself. I think there's always something to be said by being out there by yourself. The random bidder always seems to pay more than true value when they feel excited by the fact that they might lose that property to another bidder. So keep that in mind. But guys that are realtors, stop with the whole date the rate and stop with the whole sell now, and explain to people what's going on. We're in times that we've never been in before. We have seen changes that we've never seen before. We have people that go and type on the keyboard that make more money than people who have worked at a business their whole entire life. There are so many young entrepreneurs. There's, digital currencies, there's AI, there's all these different things that we are in an industrial era type change, a printing press type era change, and a lot of people aren't keeping up with that. That's one of the reasons that the housing market has gone up so far, is because we have so much wealth in this country. Now, for those of you doing things like bagging groceries and all these other things, it's not going to be the best news. So as a realtor, make sure to educate people on, I know we don't want to talk date the rate to buy the house. Talk about just buying the house as an investment. Talk about the idea that putting your money somewhere where you're building equity, where you're paying, and where you have somewhere to live that you can afford. Because remember, if you don't buy a home and you don't lock in a 30-year fixed mortgage, your lease, every single time it's due, every single time, that owner can go up on your lease. If you're not in a lease, that property can go up, $50 more a month, $100 more a month, whenever they want. A 30-year fixed mortgage, a 15-year fixed, a 20-year, a 10-year, whatever you have that's a fixed mortgage, now you know your payment, now you know what you need to do. So as a realtor, we want to educate towards that and get rid of the date the rate stuff. The good news is, though, the rates are starting to come down. The government has said they believe the inflation's over, so therefore we're going to see rates come down. They're saying the Fed rate cut, possibly even 4 of them across this year, so that means we're going to see the interest rates for 30-year fix continue to go down. Guys, remember that that Fed rate and interest rates aren't the exact same thing. So the cut doesn't just lead to the cut, but I think one of the things that's happened is the government raised the rates so quickly that they basically broke everybody, right? I mean, let's be honest. I don't care how much money you have. When you went to the register at any store, you were shocked by the prices. When you went and paid your electric bill, you were shocked by the prices. When you went to go and book that vacation, you were shocked by the prices. So I think everyone felt the, I guess you'd say, strangulation or the choking of the market that happened by that quick Fed rate up. Here we go. Everyone figure it out. So good news for 2024 is that we will see that come down. So overall, as a realtor, some key points to think about that we've talked about so far. One of them is inventory is going to be down. Bidding wars are going to be around. We're going to talk about less total transactional volume. We're going to talk about people that are more sophisticated, people that are understanding different things like AI and things like that. Ultimately meaning you as an agent need to be more sophisticated and offer better options. Now, another thing we have coming in 2024, a little bit of a bump for commercial real estate and high-end residential real estate. We have the mass exodus of agents, right? We have agents that aren't making any money that are going to be leaving the industry. So what does this mean for you guys staying, and what should you not do? Well, guys, if you're staying and you're really working at it, don't sit back and think, well, let's set the new year, new me goal, and let's kind of hit it in the springtime once it goes. I need you to go hard. I need you to go real hard. I need you guys to pay attention to the point where outbound, you just have stuff going out all day, every day. Calls, emails, texts, all that stuff, DMs, PMs, everything needs to be outbound and it needs to be active. If not, you're not going to survive, because with the limited inventory, with the limited number or quantity of total sales, you're gonna find it challenging if you're waiting for that phone to ring. And if you're just working with that little sphere of influence and, oh, I'll just work these 40 or 50 people, I get it. It's easier to say to yourself, I only work 40 or 50. I would say grow your sphere as large as possible and work on being religious about growing your business. Because as a realtor, one of the things we do, right, is we get on the phone, we make the calls, right? We go, call. We get someone live. Now we get an appointment, right? We take this thing, we put it down, and we drive to that appointment. Well, guys, dedicate some of the time of your day. Like, dedicate it, block it, time block it. Say, absolutely not, no one else is taking this time. This time's for me, this time's for my business. Because that is one of the largest mistakes made by agents, is to chase after every single squirrel that runs by. By squirrel, I mean every buyer or seller that calls and says, I need to see you right now. Not saying turn down business, but I am saying that people have more time available, and when you position yourself as a professional and you let people know, I can't make that time, but I can make these times, or which time works better, and you give them specific times, you will find that people can move things around. A lot of times people try to bully you into times that work for them, but realize, take care of yourself, because your lead generation, your outbound phone calls, your constant follow-up, reminders, all those things are what grow your business. Chasing after the individual agent is not paying attention to the one thing that matters. The one thing that matters in your business is that you have a full pipeline and you're constantly actively working on it. So for 2024, I'd say one of your goals should be going through your phone, your Rolodex, your CRM system, your Gmail, every single other thing you have, consolidating your list of contacts and looking to better nurture it, get rid of people that don't matter, and grow it as fast as you can. That way there you have plenty of outbound connections. And guys, as rates go down, remember, people who were disqualified by themselves or by a bank in the past now are becoming viable leads again. So that's why you never truly delete a lead as much as you should archive things, put them away, make sure to tag things properly. I'm kind of insinuating that you use a CRM system, but when I say tag things or archive things, I mean within your system. So that way there, later on, you can pop in a search and remember, who was it that disqualified because of a rate? Because as we go down in the rates, which almost hit 8, and now we're right around flat 7, just under 7, some 6s, as we continue to go down by 1, 2, 3% over time, this is going to re-qualify more and more buyers and allow them to buy again. So as a good realtor, year 2024, it's going to be the year of figuring out how to make it work for people, explaining how it can work for people, and looking to grow your business. Guys, 2024 is not going to be easy out there. If you're looking to position yourself well, you have to position yourself with professionals. You got to be working with people that understand the need for outbound, the inbound, and both in between. Outbound is so important every single day. Got to be calling people, got to be texting, got to be emailing. But inbound, such as buying through lead sources, maybe Realtor.com, maybe Zillow, maybe OpCity referral deals. Now I know a lot of you out there, oh geez, I don't really like these things. Fill your pipeline, fill your pipeline, fill your pipeline. There's Zillow's once, yours forever. OpCity's once, yours forever. Realtors once, yours forever. Get that mentality, lock that mantra in, and think to yourself, how do I grow my business by having more contacts? Interactions lead to transactions, period. So guys, 2024, make it your goal. More interactions, more transactions. I hope this helps, and I hope you guys have a great 2024. My overall outlook, it's going to be a great year to be a real estate agent. You're just going to have to be a badass and do what you have to do in order for your job to be successful. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I really appreciate the whole YouTube crowd. If you haven't done so, make sure to pound the subscribe button, hit the bell so you get the notifications, and also check out Real Facts on realestate.com, where you can get more free information all about being a great real estate agent. You can read our blog, check out our podcast, join our Facebook group, and interact in many more ways. Thanks again, guys, and I really appreciate you.